fact. Yes, we all know that your hormones change when you're in labor. But did you also know that your partner's hormones change during labor? There are 3 main hormones that are elevated in your partner when you are in labor. And they are oxytocin, vasopressin, and prolactin. These 3 hormones that are elevated in your partner when you're in labor are what go on to create a father, or what go on to create your partner to be an ideal protector and lover of your little family unit. And that makes me a little bit sad for like back in my parents' days when they were having kids, the dads weren't even allowed in the room. And so the dads had to miss out on this whole hormonal cascade that is supposed to happen for the males as well. And it happens much more dramatically if a man is there and present for the birth of his baby, or the labor of his woman, I should say. So the first hormone that is elevated in your partner during labor is oxytocin. Just like with you, that hormone is skyrocketing in your partner's body as well, especially if your partner is, like I recommend, your primary support person who is building up that oxytocin picture as much in his own body from the loving and bonding and touching and intimacy as is happening with you. Evolutionarily, that is put into place so that this baby can be loved and protected and cared for to carry on the evolution of the species, right? We are hardwired to love and protect and care for this baby. The second hormone that is elevated in your partner during your labor is vasopressin. Now, vasopressin is present in your body as well. It's always present in your body, but it's not necessarily elevated in your body as much as in your partner's. Now, this is really interesting. When a man is living with a pregnant woman, this hormone actually reorganizes his brain to make sure that he's going to protect and take care of his family unit. So those vasopressin levels are also released, much like oxytocin, when there is physical touch and intimacy and bonding happening. Now, this is happening with you while you're pregnant, also with baby. Once baby arrives, vasopressin is actually coined the monogamy hormone because it just makes you want to kind of stay at home in your little family unit and just be a part of that little pod. So vasopressin basically offsets testosterone, which testosterone, when elevated, is like a teenage boy, right? Like just always wants to be on the prowl, always wants to be having sex with new partners. And so when that testosterone kind of comes down and the vasopressin goes up, that partner is going to be more dedicated to you. He's going to be more like a homebody and just wanting to build that nest. And then the third hormone that's elevated for your partner is prolactin. And this is the hormone, when elevated in your body, that produces breast milk. So what in the heck is it doing in your partner's body? Well, it turns out it's actually a very important hormone, and it's not just to do with milk production. Prolactin in a man, in a dad, I'll say, is elevated if, he needs to acutely protect his family, like say there's an intruder coming in. The prolactin levels will raise in a father who's at home with his family, but not so much with a single man who also has an intruder come in. So that's interesting. Here's an interesting animal study. I know we don't like to do studies on animals, but this one's actually very heartwarming. When prolactin levels were elevated in male rats, there was actually neurogenesis happening in the brain. That's the reorganizing and the redistributing that I was talking about, that happens in the male brain when they become a father. That neurogenesis that happened in the daddy rat helped him to care for and bond and come to know the unique sense of his pups. But that only happened if he was living in the same nest right there, surrounded by his family. So they had this main study, and then they did these 2 kind of little side studies to see if it was definitely the prolactin that was causing these new brain cells, or this neurogenesis happening in the brain. In the first study, they took the daddy rat away from the family on the day that the pups were born. There was no increase in prolactin, there was no increased brain cells or neurogeneration. In the second study, they actually took a rat and genetically turned off the prolactin gene. And again, there was obviously no production of prolactin, and there was no additional neurogenesis after the babies were born. So that just goes to show you guys that the dads have a bit of a hormonal ride to take as well as they become parents. And so that's why in these, early days of the postpartum, make sure dad's getting lots of cuddle time with the baby as well, to make sure he has the opportunity to produce all of these hormones and get the full benefit of them and feel that full, you know, paternal instinct that comes through. I really love this concept of, you know, like I say, labor is a two-person job, and the fact that your partner is right there with you, of course his hormones are going to be changing in response to that. And I mean, adding a new person into your family is a massive deal, and becoming a family. So of course his brain and his hormones are going to change in response to that, just like yours do. Mother Nature at its finest. If you like this video and you want to hear more about natural labor preparation, you can sign up for my webinar that is happening this week over at loveyourlabor.com/webinar. You can just give me your name and email and I will send you all of the details. If you liked this video, please be sure to actually like it, leave me a comment, tag a pregnant mama friend, or share it on your page. I want you and your partner to birth boldly and love your labor. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Brown Roots Baby Talk.